Hey guys, would you please enthralling match?
Yeah, you pretty much nailed it there, Smithy. Yeah, it was a tough old game, you know, for probably everyone in this room. So, what do you take from that? You know, you just take the win and you move on. You know, sometimes. But if I look at it, you know, the guys. And being, you know, in some successful teams in my own history, you do sometimes have those sort of games, and you just need to win them, and they're not necessarily pleasant. You know, the fans are up there a little bit frustrated, but it's important that you get that win. And I liked that the lads found a way to win with 2 minutes to go, or 3 minutes to go, whatever it was. So probably something I wonder if we would have been able to do in the past. You know, so sometimes you win ugly, and they found a way.
And yet it could have all turned on that last penalty, which I'm sorry, that wasn't a penalty for me.
Yeah. What was it? I think it was 34 penalties in that game.
32.
Yeah, 32. So you know, we aim as a team for under 10 if we can. There's a lot of stops, a lot of stop-start stuff there. Not, you know, not preferable, you know, for a crowd or a viewing audience. You want to be able to have some, you know, some rugby played, and it was a sort of frustrating game.
Brad, I think 2 years ago there were some good discussions in here about what constituted a high tackle or the hardness in rugby is being diluted a little bit. Have you had to modify your thinking because it just is back to life now? I mean, Hunter's tackle looked like a great tackle for 100 years, and now it's not.
Yeah, Fial, the breakdown, you know, hitting a breakdown. His body's there. It's an interesting one, you know. I'm a coach now. I'm not a guy on the sidelines. You know, maybe I'd say something different. I don't know, but you know, you got to be really careful with everything in this game. So that's what it is.
Maybe frame it a little bit differently. When there were those troubles a couple of years ago, you seemed almost a bit defiant, but you still do it your way. Have you had to refine that a little bit and go, okay, well, this is how you got to do it? Like, there's no grey areas with stuff you don't do.
Yeah, you know, for me, rugby. The difference with rugby to say touch footy is the contact, you know, the physicality, and two packs going to war and two teams. You know, you challenge mentally, you challenge physically. It's like such a great game because of that. Right? You know, similar to league, or if you look at, you know, the boxing or things like that, having to think while you're under pressure physically, mentally, all these sort of things. So you're just trying to do the best technique you can, and you know, trying to get that height down. It's been a big thing around the world, around you know, the head and contact with that. But yeah, it's solid, and we'll just keep chipping away at it, and that's what it is. I don't really. That's what it is. I don't really have any. That's what we're part of, and we have to try and, you know, fit what's going on.
And what's your dialect with the referee like when there's 32 penalties and the Rebels are actively slowing things down when Hunter looks like he's got a good shot and bounced up off the ball? Like, do you get a chance to say, like, well, how can I do that better, or how can the Rebels keep stopping the game like this and interrupting the flow?
Yeah, well, I guess that's the frustrating thing, is they're still within the laws of the game. Like, I'm consistently chatting with the refs and stuff, but that's the rule book right now, and we're trying to play tempo footy, we're trying to play upbeat. Obviously 32 penalties brings them back in the game. They can take a knee, can slow things down, but for us as well, the momentum kept shifting because we weren't clinical tonight. We weren't on top of the game. If we were, if there wasn't as many drop balls, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have been able to slow it down as well as they did, and credit to them. They were really good at slowing the game down because they knew they were under the pump, and we're quite a fit team and we want to play up tempo. So, but yeah, look, they're within the laws of the game, so maybe that's something for you guys to talk about.
What was the ruling when those quick taps, right, for both sides? The Rebels tried them, you tried them with Tate, and take the tap, off they go, and it's like, come back here.
Yeah.
You missed the mark by 3 centimetres or something.
I think he was delivering something to the opposition team, talking about why it was a penalty, which I guess you can understand that.
We're trying to play. The sort of game we play. We want to play. We want continuity. So we want what you want. But it just didn't happen that way tonight. Yeah.
And did you feel that you were, when a penalty was signalled, that you got a fair play on? That you had the advantage of using that advantage?
Are you talking about advantages, or the one from the line-outs where we went to take a quick tap?
No, just in general play.
And I felt there was a couple of times where we got a couple of phases before advantage was blown up. I don't think that sort of was the issue. I think it's more so just every stoppage, we go to a line-out, someone's down, or this happens, and we're trying to get the ball in quick, we're trying to play up tempo, we're trying to play corners, we're trying to get that running game in, and they don't want that, that's their strategy, and they played it well. To be fair, like I said, if we had been more clinical, then they might not have been able to do that as well. And also, if we'd tweaked up our kicking game a little bit, like on hindsight, I think we could have done a few different things, which we'll do that next time we play them. So I want to share that.
We're definitely going to take ownership of some silly errors there, and the drop ball. And so definitely got to get our own house in order. Before we worry about other stuff, I guess.
In that middle part of the field, we weren't as good as we have been in previous times. Like I felt like we exited pretty well. It was just that middle part, we just couldn't quite get our flow going, and that was to do with our shape. Our shape changed a little bit, and then obviously in the last part, when you've been down sort of an extra man, guys get fatigued, so we have to change it up again. But we responded well, and we found a way to win, which I'm proud of the guys for doing.
How quick is Vunivalu?
Yeah, how cool was that? That was so cool. Just like probably for him, confidence thing, and just like a guy that he wasn't going to give up on it, was he? And wow, that was close. Yeah, it was a fantastic sort of moment, and good for him. Pleased for him.
Big moment.
Tough couple of weeks for him, and really cool to get him back him, and we got him out there. I think give him a good 20 minutes, and you just got to get out there. You have to, as a player, you just got to get out there, try and learn this game, and
Were you impressed with how he was able to have an impact despite having to come in after all that in 16, 17 minutes like that? That's pretty tough, right?
And he wouldn't be used to that. He used to be a starter for how long would he have come off the bench? I don't know. So once again, from my own experience, that was a challenge coming off the bench with 14 to go or 20 to go, and used to being a starter, and just the warming up, and you do the warm-ups as a reserve throughout the session, and you sort of it's a different type of game for the guys on the bench, So I'm very conscious of those guys. There's two guys tonight who didn't get on, which is Sam Wallace and Josh Ness, and it pains me to do that. I really don't like doing that, but it was just the way the game went tonight, unfortunately.
When you teams that haven't been able to close the deal. What do you see from the team when you get across the line in the type that where you've been behind the whole game?
Well, it's like Brad said, it's literally just finding a way to win. So obviously when you get a red card, the game plan can go out the window, and you can lose, I guess, consciousness of the players. Guys can sort of start looking to the ground, start looking up, and almost just lose that connection. So for me in the group, it was great to see everyone sort of come together. I had ideas coming from the back line, from the forward pack, in terms of sort of the new plays that we could run, in terms of the new structures and how we could speed it up, but then also play field position so they couldn't just slow the game down and close it out. So in terms of what I saw was just literally just a team effort in that last 20 minutes, and we just played what was in front.
Brad, I think Marika said it probably took him like 2 years maybe to get a real handle on that difference from league to union, where he had to run, where he had to be. You've got a couple of good backline players there too, until he's not starting at the moment. What do you think? How long do you think it would take him to?
I just think, looks of him tonight, looks of him at training, it's looking good, So, but yeah, we do have some talent out there, and that's exciting, and that, I guess, sorts itself out, in due time. So, there'll be guys that aren't prepared just to hand the jersey over, and that's what you want as a coach. I think I've said that the longer I've been in this job, it should be harder and harder decisions around stuff. So, but yeah, once again, from my own experience, I don't think it was until my second stint, so I'd done 3 years, my second stint, by near the end of that Super Rugby season, when I finally worked out sort of like the puzzle of the breakdown, as in making it a strength where I could belt it, Up until then I was going to it, I was trying to be physical, but so that's the start of my 4th year where I saw it, and then I could light up. I'm going to hit that, I'm going to hit this. That's what so there's parts of the game that are so different to league, but probably the advantage he has on me was I played as an 8-year-old and then came to Australia. With Sully played, he's playing first 15 in New Zealand. He's playing, it's a good standard over there, and you don't forget those sort of skills. So expect him to upskill very quickly.
What was it that you saw in him originally that really made you think he could make the transition, and you really wanted him to come here?
Just, you see an athlete, it's just time, it's just time. You see, I remember Benji Marshall went across to the Blues, and I think after about 3 months, I think he might have finished with it and said, I'm not good for rugby. I reckon he's wrong. I reckon he would have been a good rugby player. It's just time, and different guys take as long. Benji is an amazing athlete. You get those athletes, then it's just the time in the game, and you learn the game, but it has to become instinctive, especially at this level. So it's the biggest thing is going from, okay, now it's a breakdown, or it's this or that, no, I have to do that. You're behind. It's over. It's, all the other 29 other players are moving on. So when you see something play out and you just do it, that's the place you got to go to, and that takes time, and it just takes training and watching stuff and playing, and like tonight, and but if you have that athlete and he puts the time and the work in, if it's could be across any sport, they'll come through. I believe anyway.
Not in the same athletic category, but Mark was pretty good tonight. Almost had 3 tries. The line out was humming, and that's something that's been at times a bit of an issue. Were you seeing him sort of kind of hit his straps in the last couple of weeks tonight in particular?
Yeah, he's been highly motivated. Frustrating year for Muff last year with injuries, and so there's been a good old ding-dong battle with him and BPA. we're pretty blessed, I guess, to have those two, Brandon and him. And there's some guys have come in as well, young Josh Nasser and Richie Asiata. So, but yeah, it was unanimous. I think he's won the man of the match from the team in the sheds. But yeah, he was just right on target with his throws. And that last play, he just said, I'm doing this myself. I'll do it. So he just carried and he got that try. And he's a very smart footballer, and he's now a plus 50 gamer. So he's got a fair bit of experience. He's not overwhelmed by anything, and we were just really pleased for him. 2 games in, a lot of footy to be played, and we'll just he's just head down, wanting to get better.
Head down. You were right next to Hunter when he got Matt early in the game. What was it like being that close? Did you hear the contact? I spoke to him out there before, and he said even when he had his head down, he felt like he got a good shot. You were in a pretty good position.
You feel it. He just goes in hard, just rattles blokes. Reminds me a bit of Sammy Tuitupa. But yeah, Hunter's got amazing timing. But the thing I've been most impressed is just how much his game has developed, and he's opening up his ball playing now. He's stepping up. Yeah, he's kicking. He's doing work sort of with Dave Aldred during the week to focus on his sort of kicking game, and he's finding touch. He's putting little grubbers in, and even that little chip that I did for him, that wasn't me. He called that on the run, which is unreal. Where we were last year, I would not have got that communication, or he wouldn't even have spotted that vision. So he's just really worked on his game, and I think that competition between him and Hamish is so good for them both, because they're both just flourishing into that role. And so just on Marf as well, people don't realise how instinctive he is. Like some of those support lines he was running tonight were unreal, and like when he set off that set piece move that we had at the back of the sort of line out, I saw him practicing it during the week, like squaring up, dummying there, playing here, really holding the defence in place. So credit to him, he was big for us last week as well. I think he was close to man of the match as well.
Hunter's history with the Rebels is well known. He's a very quiet fella. Does he give any indication, does he come into a game like tonight against that team with a point to prove, wanting to go out there and show something?
He's definitely finding his voice, I'll say that. He's quite he's a humble guy, but in saying that, he is finding his voice, and he's we have a lot of young men in the team who are definitely stepping up. There's a lot of leaders over the park, and I think they realise now, I guess they've been in the system for a while and they've been blooded through, and they realise they're up to that, and it's time for us to take another step and really push forward. But in terms of that, maybe last year I didn't have any conversations with him about sort of that rivalry, etc. He just wants to do his job and keep putting his best foot forward.
I think his parents picked a good name for him. That's what I think.
The Hunter.
He is a physical guy that has intent, and isn't that great about the game, guys? You have different players that bring stuff, but isn't it wonderful to see the timing and the physicality around a shot like that? Talking about early in the game, I know my kids love it. So
you could see Matty's head, bang, fly back. It was a clean shot.
All right, guys, we'll end today.
Awesome, thank you.
He's one of the cuddlies off the field.
What?
Hunter loves to cuddle off the field. He's one of the cuddlies.
Cuddle? Well, he's one of the younger.
I'll let you try that one.